Hey guys, this is Technoli. Today we're going to do that Ryzen 3 1200 processor with this Gigabyte A320M motherboard with this XFX RX 570 graphics card with 4 gigabytes of RAM. And we're going to do the complete video so you guys can see how to do this one step by step. We're not going to leave anything out because I don't want you to get confused. All right, guys, let's get going. Okay, guys, on this one, I want to try to be as helpful as I can in getting you guys to build your USB bootloader. So let's say you've got an old Mac at home and it's only got like Sierra on it. If you can get the install disk from Google somewhere or whatever, like I've got this right now, I've got this on a USB stick and here it is. If you can get that downloaded, then all you have to do is copy that to your applications folder, like I did here, and then you can build your USB on that computer, even though it doesn't have Mojave on it, or Catalina, or whatever. But anyways, just wanted to give you that tip if you're having a hard time finding a Mac computer that has Mojave on it, but or Catalina, or whatever you're trying to download. So, you know, you can probably find it somewhere on Google and then put it into your applications folder, the install disk. All right. So what we're going to do first here, guys, is I am going to erase this USB stick because I'm going to use it for the for this build. Now, we want to go to Utilities, Disk Utility, and Show All Devices. There's my SanDisk, so I'm going to erase it. I'm going to call it USB. So USB. And we're going to make sure it's macOS Extended Journaled and GUID partition map. Click Erase. Now, I wanted you guys to know that this is a Clover Ryzen, okay? This is not open core. So I'm going to show you the complete process of doing this on Clover. It doesn't work yet. Clover doesn't work yet on Catalina. So that's why I'm doing a Mojave. All right. So we've got my formatted USB right there. Now we're going to go over to the internet and we're going to go to that Apple website again, but I'm just going to type in make a USB Mac OS installer. Okay, right there. And right here, we'll go to this support.apple.com. And we're going to grab, you just go down a little bit, we're going to grab this Mojave text right here. And I'm just going to grab it until it says volumes / Just copy it and go out of here. Click on the Spotlight search, type in terminal. Okay. And then we'll paste that in and then add to the end of that USB. Hit enter, put in your password, and then say yes. Okay, this is going to take about 20 minutes to make the Mojave USB bootloader. Okay, as soon as this is done, we'll come back and finish up. Okay, so here it's all done. You can see what it looks like when it's finished. So we'll close out of here. And we want to have our Clover right here. Now to get Clover, you download Clover Configurator from the internet. And then you can just click right here to install Clover. You just say save to desktop, check now, and then click install. And it will come right up on your desktop right here, okay? So let's go into Clover, and I'm going to show you what you need to pick for this particular build. So continue, change install location, make sure you choose your USB drive. You don't want to erase your hard drive, right? Okay, then we click on Custom. We're going to choose the top two, and then click that down arrow next to UEFI drivers. We're going to click Recommended Drivers, and then we'll skip Human Interface Devices and come down here to File System Drivers. And I want you to also, you're going to see APFS Driver Loader. I also want VBox HFS. All right, then go down here to Memory Fixes. And on this one, I want you to choose this OXSX Optio Fix Driver, okay? Pick that one. And then under here, nothing. Additional drivers, we want Partitioned X. And go ahead and choose Install RC Scripts on Target Volume and click Install. Put in your password. Let that finish up. Hey guys, I want you to put in the description below the kind of builds that you would like me to do. Give me some feedback on the kind of motherboards or setups you'd like me to do, because I'd love to have your input on that. All right, so we're done here. We just click Close. Now we need to add, see, now we have this EFI folder, right? So we've got our install, our USB installer, and then after we did the Clover, we see this EFI folder right here, okay? And we go over here to Clover, and those drivers we installed, we clicked on, are all in here. But we need now KEX. KEX are like drivers on a Windows machine. So we click on KEX, and then the other folder, there's nothing in here. So we're going to go to Clover Configurator, and we're going to install the KEX that we need. So go down here on the left, and it says KEX Installer. Now over here, you want to choose that Other folder, okay? So just click that down arrow and choose Other. And then we want to go to the top here. We want Lilu, Virtual SMC, whatever green. This Apple ALC is for the audio driver. And then we'll go down here a little ways till we find the Realtek RTL8111. That's for our Ethernet driver, our LAN. Then click Download. Okay, so that's downloading and installing. We'll just click Install on that. All right, so we're done. So we can go out of Clover Configurator. Now, in the description below, you're going to find a folder that has these items in it, these 3 items, okay? These are KEX that you're going to need in addition to what we already have in here. And this is the config.p list that will work with this Ryzen motherboard. So we're going to go over here to our EFI folder. After you download those things, double click on EFI, double click on Clover, go ahead and go to the KEX folder and then Other, and let's pull those 2 KEX that you downloaded into the KEX Other folder. And then we're going to delete this config.p list, and we're going to use this one, the one you downloaded, instead. All right? So we close that out. Now while you're here, go ahead and put this Clover Configurator onto your USB drive, because we're going to need it later after we get done. All right, so we are working on the machine right now that I showed you in the first part of the video. So this is the computer. We're going to go ahead and we're going to erase it. We're going to start like it's a brand new system, okay? All right, so what we need to do now is go into the BIOS on the motherboard. So let's shut down, restart, and let's go into the BIOS. We're going to start tapping the delete key to get into our BIOS. Okay, so I've had a couple of you guys have a little bit of problems, I think, with probably the BIOS settings. And this is really important. If you don't get this right, it just will give you all kind of problems when you're booting. When you're trying to do your first boot, and it just won't come out right. So go over here and go ahead and go to the save and exit and load the optimized defaults. Okay, just click on it, hit enter again. All right, now we're at a default setting that everybody will have. Now we can go back over here using our arrow keys, right? You don't need to worry about the MIT section. You don't need to worry about system. Under BIOS, our first boot option, I'm going to choose my SanDisk. Okay? The second boot option, it's showing you right here, that is my M.2 SSD drive. That's fine to leave it like that. Now we'll go down here and look at these other ones. Fast boot is disabled. CSM support enabled. Everything else, guys, you can leave just as it looks here. Make sure you get these screens right, okay? All right, let's go to peripherals. All right, so we are using a PCIe graphics card, so that is correct. Everything on here is correct. USB configuration, we can leave it by default. That's perfect. Now let's arrow over to chipset. We want to make sure that it says AHCI and everything just as you see it here. Power, you don't need to touch. So now we're done. We can go over to save and exit. Make sure you put your USB drive in. Let's see if it works. Put it in a USB 2.0, which is typically black, okay? Try not to use a blue one, okay? All right, here we go. Now I'm going to press the F12 key to get into the boot sequence just to make sure that I'm booting from the USB stick. Okay, so I'm going to go down here to the UEFI SanDisk and hit enter. Once we get to here, you can just hit enter. Now this is going to go through a lot of text. This is going to take a little bit of time. If it gets stuck on a line, stay with it for a minute. And if it still continues to be stuck, then you can send me a message in the description below, or go to technoli.com and send me a personal email, whatever you'd like to do to get a hold of me. I've also got chat on that website. All right, as soon as this comes up to the next screen, we'll come back. Okay, guys, I'm going to let you see this text move, and you'll see how it kind of gets stuck. But I just be patient with it. Make sure that it continues to move along. See, that got stuck for quite a while. All right, here we go. All right, we're coming up to the first step where we get to format our hard drive and start installing the operating system. It'll get stuck right here for a little bit of time, but just let it do its thing. Okay, finally. So we'll just go ahead and select our language. Click continue. All right, so we got disk utility. Click on that. Click continue. I'm going to pull out my Ethernet cable because I know we're going to have to change the date on this system. So let's select all devices, show all devices. And right here is my M.2. I'm going to erase it and I'm going to just call it Mojave. Mojave AMD. All right, for format, we're going to choose APFS and GUID partition map. Click erase. Perfect. All right, let's go out of here and click install macOS. We always get this copy of the install macOS Mojave application is damaged and can't be used to install macOS. Oh boy, well we got a fix for that. We're going to go right over here to utilities, click on terminal, and then we're going to type in date. Okay, so that's today's date, but we need to change it back 2 years. So we're going to type in date, space, and then we're going to, this is February 11, it's noon, something like that, and then 18 for the year. So now we're back exactly 2 years. Quit terminal, go ahead and install macOS. There it goes. Agree and choose our hard drive and install. And this will take a little while, folks. And when it gets to about here, we're going to come back because it's going to restart on its own. Okay, it just rebooted. So we're going to come back up, leave your USB drive in, and we're going to select the hard drive this time. Arrow down to your hard drive and hit enter. It'll go a lot faster now. When it comes back up to the next step, we'll continue. Just want to show you the screen here a little bit so you know more what to expect. All right. It's a little different from some other builds we've done, but we don't mind as long as it works. Okay, it gets to this screen. It says about 13 minutes remaining, and we'll come back when this is done. Okay, guys, just wanted to show you the progress here. It says about 7 minutes remaining, so we'll wait till it goes across. Okay, about a minute remaining. So we'll let you see this reboot here. Okay, so it's going to automatically restart in just a few seconds. Leave your USB stick in there. We're going to make sure when it comes up to the boot menu that we are on the hard drive again. Yes, so right there it says boot macOS from Mojave AMD. Those are the fans on the graphics card revving up. There they go. Okay, now for some fun to begin. We'll choose our country. All right, now I'm going to plug back in my Ethernet port, my cable. I'll plug it in and click continue. Leave it on using DHCP, typical. All right, continue, continue. We'll set up later, skip. Agree to our terms and conditions. And you could name it whatever you'd like. Put in a password. Click continue. And we'll go ahead and do our enable location services. Turn off analytics. We'll choose dark mode. All right, guys. So this one's not that hard, right? We'll go ahead and tell it what kind of keyboard we're using. Okay, so we got a transparent bar down here. Let's go into System Properties and check that audio. Okay, it's picking up my HDMI, which I have hooked up. And let's get on the internet here. Yeah, we got internet. Go over to YouTube, make sure our sound is working. Input sound will not work. Oh, Mr. Beast.
It's good to be transparent.
All right, got audio. All right. So now what we have to do is go over here to our USB stick and let's go ahead and just drag Clover Configurator out onto the desktop, okay? Now, we'll go ahead and go into Clover Configurator because we have to mount the EFI folder on the USB stick because we need that hidden folder. Put it on our password. Okay, now here's our hidden EFI partition that's on the USB. Now, we're also going to mount the hard drive, which is right here, the Mojave AMD. We're going to mount it and then click Open Partition, and you'll see there's nothing in here. But on the USB EFI partition, we have this EFI folder. We need to drag this folder to the hard drive EFI partition so we don't have to have our boot stick in there anymore. Now also while you're in here, guys, I want you to go ahead and go into the EFI folder, double click on Clover. Then I want you to right click on config.plist and open it with Clover Configurator. Okay? Now, if you don't want to see the text on the screen anymore when it boots up, you can go here to the second option which says boot and get rid of this -V, okay? Just double click on it and just get rid of it, okay? And then also I want you to go down here to the SM BIOS and I want you to generate new serial numbers and generate new SM UUID numbers, okay? Just hit it a few times. That way you have your own serial numbers. And so what we're trying to do here is make sure we don't have any problems with iMessage or the Apple Store, those types of things. So we'll make sure those are done, and then we'll click here and click Save. We'll exit Clover. All right, let's go ahead and restart and pull out our thumb drive. Let's see if we boot. Okay, so there it is. It's the only option we have now is to boot from Mojave AMD. And let's see if she boots up all the way. Remember, guys, I want you to comment down below the kind of builds you would like to see me do. We'll see if we get a consensus on what's the best ones to do. There goes my fans again. All right, nice and fast. AMD Ryzen 3 1200. Amazing speed. And this is only 8 gigabytes of RAM. We've got our Radeon RX 570 with 4 gig. It's showing as a 3.1 Xeon. But don't worry about that. So there we go. We are done. I really appreciate you guys watching this video. I thank you so much for subscribing. So many of you guys have subscribed, and it's really helping me out. I really appreciate it. Love doing these videos, and we'll see you on the next one.